One of the greatest joys of being a farmer is raising livestock. You see them born, you feed them, you watch them grow, you care for them. And when their time comes, you want that end to be swift, calm, dignified, and painless. Right now, today, all across the country in abattoirs, we're allowing vile practices that would turn the stomach of any decent person, all in the name of religious exemption. No bolt to the brain, no stunning, no anaesthetic, a blade, a deep crushing cut across the throat. The animal does not die instantly. It thrashes, it gasps, it panics. It feels everything. That's a minute of pure agony while the blood pours from its body. No sedation, no stunning, just raw terror and suffocation. As a farmer, I would rightly be prosecuted for treating our animals like that. But in the abattoir, it's legal under religious exemption. It's two-tier slaughter. Instead of an instant painless death, these poor beings are being put through the most unimaginable pain, all in the name of religion. This isn't farming, it's torture. And the British people have no idea that this is happening. Because supermarkets don't label it, restaurants don't mention it, and schools don't highlight it. And politicians in these buildings are too terrified to mention it, out of fear of upsetting the religious minorities. I'm afraid I don't care. It's about animal welfare. Millions of Brits are eating halal meat against their will and without their knowledge, due to our deceitful labelling system. The two-tier regulatory arbitrage between our abattoirs and halal slaughterhouses means that there are economic factors fostering more widespread adoption of the cheaper option. That means halal meat is seeping into the food chain, and the consumer is unwittingly eating it. I will give way.
The honourable member mentions halal meat. Is the same position for kosher meat? Does he adopt the same position?
I do. I cover that at the end of my speech. Thank you for your intervention. We're all eating halal meat without knowing it. You are all eating halal meat without knowing it. I find that morally repugnant. We should ban non-stun slaughter, we should ban halal slaughter, and we should ban kosher slaughter. I will give way.
Thank the honourable member for giving way. Would he just clarify, just for my understanding, when he says, what does he propose in terms of those 88% of halal meat is actually pre-stunned? So given that, is he just after pre-stunned meat? Is that the crux of his argument?
I thank the honourable member for her intervention. The issue of stunning is a complex issue, as you probably know. The halal stun is a lower voltage than the non-halal stun. And as a member over here quite rightly said, chickens are put into an electric bath before they're killed. It is the actual level of the stun that counts. So, freedom of belief does not mean freedom to cause cruel and brutal pain. When I care for animals, I have the most stringent set of rules to abide by. I'm regulated on how to house them, how I feed them, and how I transport them. There are inspections, paperwork, codes of practice, all to make sure they're treated with dignity. I'm going to finish. But a halal abattoir can brutally butcher an animal alive, and all is fine. Where is the fairness in that? Where is the humanity in that? This is not a fringe issue. In 2024, an estimated 214.6 million animals were slaughtered for halal meat. 27 million entirely non-stun, the remainder with some form of weak and ineffectual attempt to ease the animal's pain, often causing just an epileptic fit. It is state-endorsed butchery. We talk so much about being a nation of animal lovers in this place. Well, it's time to prove it. Ban non-stun slaughter, along with any fig leaf of reduced stun slaughter, which simply accentuates the suffering.
Rupert Lowe's recent speech addressing the petition ban non-stun slaughter in the UK perfectly captured the timidity and political cowardice infecting modern British politics. In an age where politicians endlessly champion animal welfare, environmentalism, and human rights, Lowe boldly pointed out a glaring hypocrisy. Our elected representatives become mysteriously silent when faced with clear violations of animal welfare, all out of fear of offending religious minorities. According to Lowe, the truth is crystal clear. Politicians are literally terrified of stepping into sensitive discussions, preferring to avoid confrontation rather than uphold consistent standards for animal welfare. This fear-driven silence highlights a troubling dynamic. When moral clarity is needed, our political leaders shrink back into cautious neutrality, exposing their priorities as self-preservation rather than genuine ethical commitment. Lowe's critique exposes a disturbing truth. Politicians are effectively allowing a double standard to persist purely because confronting it would mean dealing with the uncomfortable reality of religious sensitivities. His words illuminate a fundamental question that goes beyond animal welfare. Should the integrity of ethical standards be sacrificed at the altar of political correctness? It's astonishing and frankly outrageous that, in a society that prides itself on progress and enlightened values, elected officials consistently dodge the moral responsibility of condemning non-stun slaughter simply due to their fear of backlash. Rupert Lowe isn't just calling out animal cruelty. He's calling out a culture of political cowardice that compromises core British values. It's not merely an animal welfare issue. It's about integrity, consistency, and courage in leadership. Politicians owe the public honesty, yet, as Lowe powerfully argued, they're instead choosing convenience and political safety. In boldly confronting this hypocrisy, Rupert Lowe's speech becomes more than a statement about animal welfare. It's a direct indictment of modern British politics and the spinelessness of politicians too afraid to defend their principles openly. He has sparked a critical conversation that the UK urgently needs, forcing us to ask uncomfortable but necessary questions. How long will politicians let their fear silence them? And at what cost? To animals, to ethics, and ultimately to our society's integrity.